If you're watching after the live, we're probably gonna have to fast forward a little bit before we dive into all the good stuff. But yesterday we did a lot of lives. I think I did 3 yesterday. I did the pre-lift, the medium lift, and then another pre-lift workout before Brian and Sala came over for a recovery lift. So definitely, if you're looking for some good videos, there's some good videos out there from yesterday, even from last week's. What's up, Drew? What's up, Drew? Josh, what's up, man? Yeah, just doing the old pre-lift live. East versus West is in what, 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? It's like November 6th or something. Yeah, I think it's the 6th, November 6th, I think. Anything interesting happened since yesterday in the arm wrestling world? Any big promotions happening? Anything? Dress is Beautiful Friday. Oh no. Feel a rumble. Maybe that's a rumble from thunder. Maybe that's a stomach. Maybe your stomach is rumbling. Hopefully it's a better rumble. Well, let's see. Craze 94 says, "Hi, bro. What's up, man?" I don't think I saw your name before. So this is the first time. Is this your first time here at the channel? I'll tell you what. If you like arm wrestling, you picked the right spot. Josh says it's the belly. BRB. Everyone wish Godspeed to Josh. Hopefully he gets back in one piece. Yeah. Sandra says that black woman put me on time out. What are you talking about? Someone put you in timeout? That's rough. That's rough. Maybe it was deserved. Maybe it wasn't. But either way, timeout is timeout. Sandra says on one of these streams. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I know we got our moderator security force is always on high alert. Drew says, "What did you say?" He's gonna say it again, and then he's gonna get timeout again. So be careful. Be careful, Sandra. I think that's a trap. Drew's trying to get you to say it again, so put you in timeout again. Well, to me, it sounds like Sandra is maybe he's confusing this channel with another channel. Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Sandra. And he says, "Where are you going?" I'm going to the labyrinth. I'm pretty much already there. I'm just sitting in the driveway. This chair is a little more comfortable than the one I have in the gym, so I'm using the car as a chair today. Drew says, "Yeah, I think you're mixing it up with another channel." Yeah, I think so too. Sandra says, "Oh, okay." I think we're pretty good. We don't really put anybody in timeout unless they're doing something crazy, or sometimes people will, put a million spam comments in the chat or something. That's probably it. But Sandra, you ever hear of arm wrestling? Do you know arm wrestling is a real sport with real leagues, real referees, real athletes, and real rules? Josh says, "I'll remove dumb comments." Oh, good. It's been a while since we've got some really weird comments, but I appreciate you, the guys keeping track. Sandra says, "Are you a wrestler?" I am an arm wrestler, so do some arm wrestling. So if you have any arm wrestling questions, let me know. I'd be happy to try to answer them. Wolf Guy, what's up, man? A long time no see. Good to see you. Anything you guys want to talk about in this live? We could anything arm wrestling related. We could talk about East versus West. We could talk about other promotions. We could talk about what matches you guys would like to see in the future. And I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do another live for the workout. So I'll do another after I hop off this. I'll set up another live for the workout. Just got to set up the chargers and stuff like that. My phone will probably be, I can't see what it is right now, but it's probably like 60. Let's see. Wolf Guy says, "I remember the first live stream I was in. Yeah, you had a different name. I think it was just Wolfie or something." Sandra says, "Oh wow, do you win when you are arm wrestler? You arm wrestled? Oh wow, do you win when you arm wrestle?" Yeah, at least recently I've only lost one match so far, and I don't plan on losing any more. So, let's see. Josh says, "Nick is a former powerlifter and now a pro arm wrestler slash trainer." Definitely true. He used to be a powerlifter, but I do enjoy arm wrestling more. I enjoy arm wrestling more, and I also think it is less taxing on the body, so I think it's a win-win from my point of view, in terms of powerlifting. 36 to 40, most guys are you know dealing with tremendous amount of injuries. So like peak powerlifting is like, 25 to 36, something like that, versus peak arm wrestling is like 50, 45 to 55. Um, so it's interesting. I feel it's more fun, less risk too, like worst case scenario with arm wrestling, um, break your arm, rip a bicep, rip a pec, still very big injuries, but worst case scenario, you'll be able to walk to the hospital. In powerlifting, people have broken their necks, broken their spine. I've seen people tear both of their quads at the same time after they've torn both of their quads because the weight is on their back. They proceeded to, blow out their back, and then also I think, ankles. Um, so I've seen a good amount of injuries in powerlifting. I've seen a good amount of injuries in arm wrestling, but way more in powerlifting. Um, so it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought. Let me just check some of these comments real quick. Josh says, and yes, it's pretty damn hard to move Nick's arm. I appreciate that. I usually I use my weight advantage at practice. Don't listen to people. It definitely helps. I use my weight advantage when I have to, especially at practice. Wolf guy says it was Wolfie YouTube. Yeah, I think I'm gonna still call you Wolfie if you don't mind, because I feel like it sounds more like we're friends. Sandra says, wow, amazing. And then Sandra says, how big are your biceps? I haven't measured them in a while. Maybe 19 or 20, maybe 20 with a pump. I do know my right arm is bigger because I tore my left tricep a couple years ago. So it's probably about, like, it was an inch bigger because of that missing muscle mass in my left arm, but now it's probably, I'm starting to fill in that missing muscle with new muscle, like a lizard, like a healing lizard. So it's probably about half an inch smaller now, but it's getting there. What's up, Brian? Brian says the guy who does 2 bully strap sessions a week and usually 3 practices. Oh. Yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. The beginning when I first started doing the 2 to 3 practices a week, it was absolutely brutal. I could barely lift weights, but now after doing it for a while, I could definitely feel an evolution in the body and the joint, being able to handle more volume, more intensity, and also recover, more. Let's see. Wolfie says, how has your day been so far? It's been pretty good, man. I had a couple people to train this morning, a couple clients. Set a couple PRs with them, so that's always a good day. Now I am, now I'm sitting in the car, drinking the pre-workout, talking to some of my friends. So it's a pretty good day. After this, I'm gonna get the lift in, and then after that, I gotta figure out the ride situation, because right now my ride is down. I might get another rental maybe. But if not, if anyone is on the team is able to give me a ride to the dungeon this Saturday, and hopefully give me a ride back, because that would probably be nice, But if not, no worries. I know it's definitely out of the way for a lot of people. But yeah, we'll figure it out. So Sanders says, yes, also keeps you fit too, doesn't it? Yeah, I would think so. Definitely help. Arm wrestling is it's a specialized sport, but it definitely does help to be in, the better shape. It's definitely not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. You'll see some arm wrestlers, they look like they're tremendous athletes, and some arm wrestlers, you wouldn't think they're a professional athlete. So it's a very unique sport. Wolfie says, yeah, call me Wolfie. Yeah, I definitely will, man. I definitely will. Drew says, how far is the dungeon from your home? It's about 45 minutes, probably about 45 minutes. I guess maybe I can do an Uber, but I don't even know what an Uber would cost for something that far. It might be even the same price just to rent a car, maybe. Is that what you're thinking, or you're just curious about how far? Or, Drew, were you saying that you were going to take the trip to Connecticut and then, pick me up and take the trip to the dungeon? But Drew says 45 minutes, 45-minute drive, question mark, why so far? See, it's interesting because when I see 45 minutes, I think that's pretty close. Most of my drives to practices are, 5 times longer than that. When I go to Fitzy's, it's about 2.5. When I go to Storms, it's about 2.5. So, right, the average drive is like 2.5 hours for practice. So, 45 minutes is not too bad. Wolfie says like 35 or 40. Oh, for the Uber? That's actually not bad. I think the car was probably about that. I think the car was like $45 a day, I think, if I remember. Let's see. Sandra says, and also you're going to the gym and meeting people. Yeah, I'm definitely going to the gym. My gym is not like a commercial gym. It's an invite only gym. So with that, there's no public people, so it's not like, I don't really see a lot of new faces. The only people I see are people on the team, people I'm coaching, stuff like that. But today's lift, at least the first one, it's gonna be solo. Unless you guys decide to hang out and watch, then I'll be, then you guys can lift with me. But I do a majority of my lifts solo. Actually, even when I was powerlifting, I did the majority of my lifts solo. Just how it worked out sometimes. But sometimes it's tricky to, to find a training group with the same intensity and same goal, same mindset. But I feel like with the Tuesday team, we got a good group of guys. I feel like they're starting to get more and more hungry, and I think it's definitely showing in how hard they're training and stuff like that. Josh says Drew is absolutely on his way. Way to go, Drew. Yeah, you better hurry up, man. I think if you're driving, that's like a 48-hour drive, so you're gonna have to do like double the speed limit at least. Probably should get one of those police scanners, whatever those things are called, the beepers. That might help if you're doing double the speed limit. Sandra says, which is good. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a nice place to train. You says ... So that means he's too busy driving to message. So he's definitely on the way. Let's see. Brian says, my body comp is not too bad for just arm wrestling at my age. So yeah, it keeps me in shape. Where there's all the walking too. Oh yeah, all the walking as a mailman. But after a while, I'm sure, I think we were talking about this before. After a while, the body's got to adapt to all that walking, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. Josh says Drew for the win. LOL. Drew says, "What's wrong with your car?" Question. The one you're in now. Yeah. So this is the Chrysler. I call it the Black Pearl. It's been pretty good to me. It's got a lot of miles. I've driven it quite a bit. I can't tell if it's the. It's I think it's the fuel pump now though. But I was hoping it was the injectors, but I think it's the fuel pump. I just can't keep it running without my foot on the gas, and I'm not able to shift it into gear without it stalling. Otherwise it would be like a big neutral drop or something. Because I got to keep the RPMs up. Otherwise it stalls, and I'm not able to shift it in gear without it stalling. Well, this car has been pretty good to me. It's got I think it's got 230,000 miles, and this is only the second time I've had it, and something happened to it, where it wasn't running. So it's been pretty good. Josh says fuel pump. Yeah, that's hopefully that's what I think it is, but hopefully it's something a little cheaper. Sandra says arm wrestling. Interesting. You quarterly invite to your gym? Or all interesting. You quarterly invite to the gym? That's trusting whom you know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely, I trust people in the gym. But also too, it kind of keeps everyone with a similar goal. You know what I mean? In a public gym, it's public, so everyone there has their own goals. Some people want to be world champions. Some people just want a place to, to have fun, meet new people and socialize maybe, just, different goals, but it's interesting. Brian says losing fuels the hunger. If it was any good, I probably wouldn't care about getting better. Yeah, definitely true. I feel like depending on the person, some people take a loss and kind of fizzle away, sizzle away. And some people take a loss and they come back reborn out of the ashes, you know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. Wolfie says, "Hurry, Drew." LOL. Drew says, "What car and year?" It's a 2013 Chrysler 300. Drew says, "Fuel pump is easy though." I know there's two fuel pumps in this car. There's the small fuel pump and the main fuel pump. The small fuel pump is behind the underneath the back seat. I think that's the easy one. If I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a super mechanic. Very, very basic stuff. But hopefully it's easy. Hopefully it's not a giant fix. But we'll see soon. Claudia, what's up? Claudia says, "When did you get your car?" I think I got it 2016, 2017, maybe. So I've had it for a while. Yeah, I've had it for a good while. You know. Drew says the under the seat one is easy and not a lot of money. Yep, yep. I think the easy one, that one went 2-3 years ago. Let's see. Drew says the one in the engine bay is the high pressure one and less fun, but might cost more. Still not that bad. Still not that bad to replace. Um, yeah. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. I still gotta see if I could see if this is something I could do by myself. With my knowledge, but we'll see. We'll see. Uh, Claudia says, does it still run smooth? It does not run smooth right now. It definitely. I think if the fuel pump or the injectors, if probably the fuel pump is fixed, I think it will definitely run smooth. Because it's a pretty good car. I mean, I used to have a mechanic shop teacher in high school say every once in a while in the car assembly lines, those machines make a car that everything is, put together right. Like he used to have an old Buick that he would, that he or Mercury or something, some kind of little sedan. And he would drive that all, had like 400,000 miles on it or something. Um, let's see. Sandra says check fuses, fuel pump, lack of electrical charge. Um, it could be something like that. I know this thing has had a weird electrical problem going on where randomly it will. I mean, it hasn't done it in a while. It does it randomly, um, where it must be a bad ground or something. It will just all the power will drain out. But it hasn't done it in a while, so it could be something electrical. Let's see. Drew says 3.6 liter V6. Yes. Yeah, I want to say it's definitely V6. I think it is the 3.6. Yeah, 3.6. That's what it is. I'm almost positive, but I think there's only two V6 motors, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's the 3.6. Sanders says, "Look after the lady. The lady looks after you. The lady is your car." Yep, definitely is. I definitely like this car. If you guys know, well, if you've been to my place, once I like a car, I have a hard time getting rid of it. I got a Jeep sitting in my yard that's been there for quite a while, and yeah, I definitely don't plan on getting rid of this car. Um, Even if I get something new, probably, but you never know. Drew says a failed fuse would be where it would not work at all, though. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. I'm not super mechanical, super basic stuff. I could do super basic stuff. Wolfie says, I have a question. All right, let's see what it is. Go ahead, ask away, man. Uh, and he says, and last time you replaced the fuel filter, it's been a while. It's probably last time, probably when that uh, the secondary fuel pump was replaced. So it could be, probably, I think it was 2 years, I think. So it could be 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Drew says, damn, when did I replace my fuel filter? I'm not sure, man. Maybe, maybe never. Maybe you forgot about it. Oops. Let's see. I missed a comment. Wolfie says, "Can I get mod for the stream?" You don't have to. Don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah, I could do something like that. I don't think I could do it right now. My phone, if you don't know, my phone is messed up. It's all cracked up. So part of the screen I can't see. Let me see if I can. I'll click on the name. Yeah, I can't see. Let me see if I can try again. Right now, the only thing I can see is it says pin message report or remove. That's the only thing I can see. I could try again when I turn my phone sideways. I'll be able to see some other stuff. But yeah, remind me in the next chat, man. The next time you hop in. So Drew says, Wolfie, how long you been on YouTube? It's a good question. How long has it been? So I feel like oh, let's see. Wolfie says like 3 months or so. Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, YouTube is a pretty fun place, at least compared to all the other social medias. I feel like it's the most productive, maybe. Um, but Wolfie, do you post videos? Do you post any YouTube videos or anything like that? Drew says, "Wow, never had an account before that. What did you do before that?" And he says, "Where do you live?" I think he's in the States. I think he's I can't remember. We talked about it before, but I can't remember. Wolfie says, I like in Indiana, but I think he means I live in Indiana. That's definitely in the States. Oh, okay, yep, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'm pretty good with pretty good with typos sometimes. Um, I probably do. If you text with me or anything, I'm sure I send a whole bunch of typos. Sandra says lives in a house. That's a nice place to live. That's a nice place to live. A nice house. You know, definitely. It beats the alternative. Of living in no house. Sandra says, I have to go. Well, have a good day. I appreciate you hanging out with us while you can. Well, take care. I appreciate that. So let's see. Maybe we can we talked about car stuff. We talked about gym stuff. Any more arm wrestling stuff we could talk about? Um, I am very curious. I know we talked about it last night and in the morning. I'm very curious about that John Brzenk Brian Shaw match. Wolfie says my phone is at 4%. I will die soon. Well, I appreciate you taking your last final percents and hanging out with us. That's nice of you. Sandra says bye. Appreciate you. See you next time, Sandra. Let's see. Drew says, will to kill your phone to watch Nick. I think it means will it kill your phone to watch Nick? Maybe the battery, it might crack the screen. Maybe that's how my phone cracked because it was cracked it, but I think it was the time it exploded. Wolfie says, man, you are like a dad to me. Oh, I appreciate that. That's nice of you. Drew says, willing to kill. Oh, I see. I get it. Willing to kill your phone to watch Nick. That's dedication right there. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. That's good. That's nice. I appreciate that. Well, I got a question for you guys. What's your favorite muscle to train? What is your favorite muscle to train? What do you enjoy training the most? Let's see. Drew says, and Wolfie is a Rick and Morty fan too. And Wolfie says, how did you know? Drew must have maybe he checked out your profile. Maybe he hacked into your computer and saw all your secrets. But maybe I think it's the first one. Maybe you have some stuff on your profile or something. Or you're just taking a guess. It's a pretty popular show. So Corcus says Greece here. Well, I appreciate you watching. I think you might be the first person from Greece, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Drew says, because of your poster in your bedroom wall. You gotta watch out for Drew sometimes. He's pretty sneaky. You can't hide anything from him. And then Wolfie says, don't check my search history. You gotta be careful. With that. But yeah, definitely don't check it. You might you might see something that you can't unsee, you know, so just be careful, be careful. So the question, let's see, Brian's, oh, there we go. Brian says, triceps always been my favorite. Yeah, triceps has always been a good muscle to train. I used to train a lot of triceps when I still train triceps now, but I trained a lot more when I was benching. Um, when I was powerlifting, my favorite muscle to train was the lower back, the erector muscles of the spine. Triceps were up there too. Triceps were always great to train. Now that I'm arm wrestling, I think my favorite muscle to train is probably the pronation. Something like that, you know. Wolfie says leg day is my fave. When I was powerlifting, leg day used to be my favorite too. Now that I'm arm wrestling, it's I still do legs, but the intensities are way different. You know, like yesterday I did a recovery lift, and the only I considered it legs, but it was just body weight squats. I did a whole bunch of body weight squats and different types of body weight squats. You know, with my full body recovery day, did some arm wrestling stuff, and then in between arm wrestling stuff, I would do some squats and some body weight stretches and stuff. Wolfie says I'm back. Oh, good. You must have maybe found a charger or something. Wolfie says no. My brother took my phone. That happens sometimes. Um, well, I'm glad you got it back. You know, because it's fun. It's fun hanging out and talking about arm wrestling stuff. And Drew says when. I think it means when did he take the phone? So it could have been at the beginning of the live. Maybe Wolfie was impersonated by his brother. Oh, okay. So he says just now, and I got it back. I got it now. Good. That's good. So Drew says, so we were talking to the real Wolfie all this time? Question mark. I think so. I think so. From what I gathered. Wolfie says, I guess. All right, it's happening. Um. So let's see. Josh says, y'all think he was Wolf from Arm Gods? I don't think so. He might be. I don't know, but I think the Wolf from Arm Gods got a really heavy Irish accent, and I think it's so heavy you can even see it when he types. So maybe it is, but I don't think so. And Wolfie says, who? There's an arm wrestler guy. His name is White Wolf. He's part of Arm Gods, and but he was asking if you were him or if he was you. Let's see. Josh says Wolf is Canadian, hiding in Northern Cali. LOL. Oh, I must be thinking of someone else then. Wolfie says my twin. LOL. Drew says no. Wolfie is a kid in Indiana. The old Indiana kid. That's what some people call him, I hear. But it's good, you know. I don't think I know of any arm wrestling teams in Indiana, but there's got to be some, you know. So if you're interested in training, man, try to find a team, arm wrestling team. Drew says White Wolf is the old drunk guy who is a diehard Arm Gods fan. Rue. Yeah, so maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, I see. Josh says White Wolf from Arm Gods is a Canadian who lives and works in Northern Cali. The Irish guy from Arm Gods is Marcus. Oh, I was thinking of Marcus. Yep. Okay. And the White Wolf is taller with gray hair, right? He's taller with gray hair. Marcus is a little shorter with black hair. Um, now I'm almost positive I know what you're talking about now. Um, Drew says, yeah. All right. Now we get there. We make a good team, everybody. We make a good team. Josh says, yes, tall gray hair. Yeah, okay, all right, now I know what you're talking about. Wolfie says, my phone is at 1. No. Well, we'll make that 1%. Hopefully it's last as long as it can. Maybe we'll have some fun. So if you got any final questions with that 1%, let me know. Josh says, plug that shit in, Wolf, LOL. There's still time. Man. Maybe you could plug it in. Hopefully it's not like my phone where it's super sensitive to a charger. It's got to be the perfect way. But Josh says, you ain't going anywhere. LOL. That's true. Yeah, plug it in. Because we got things to do on this live, man. I don't really know what right now, but definitely something. For some reason, the last comment from Josh, you ain't going anywhere, reminds me of remember the original Spider-Man where he's in the wrestling ring with Macho Man. And Macho Man's like, I got 3 minutes of playtime. Some reason I got a flashback of that movie when you said that. It reminds me of that movie. Yep, good reminder. I appreciate the reminder because I did forget. Josh says, brah, socials in the description, ... I definitely appreciate that reminder. Um, yeah, definitely. I should remember. I don't know why I'm not, because you guys remind me all the time. Um, but on a positive note, I remember the hashtags. I'm getting good at the hashtags now. But yeah, I definitely got to put the socials in there. But if you're wondering what the social medias are, Facebook is Nicholas Stone, and Instagram is _ Team Stone 777. Wolfie says I found the charger. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Josh says when you put them in, you can reuse all that when you go live again. What do you mean, like copy and paste it, or is there a button or something? Is there a save button, or are you talking about like copy and paste? But I got the hashtags where I typed them in enough so when you start typing in, hashtags just pop up. Wolfie says, I love the live. I can't leave. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're having a good time, having some fun. Um, what else can we talk about arm wrestling related? Let's see. Josh says there is a button to reuse the description so you don't have to manually enter them every time. Huh. I never seen that, I don't think. Do I have to, is it when I make a new live, the button is there, or do I have to go back into an old live and copy it from that one? I'll definitely look out for that button because that will definitely save a lot of time over time. Let's see. Josh says it may be different on the phone. I know it's there on the desktop. Okay, maybe that's the case. Because I don't. Is it newer or it's been around for a while? Because I don't think I've ever seen a button like that. And I only use my phone, so maybe that's the case where it's only a desktop option. Um, so let's see. Drew says, Nick, the way your phone is and stuck in mirrored mode, you're doing what you can and you need all the help you can. Definitely true. Definitely true. Um, so I appreciate all the help. I definitely appreciate the help. Definitely learned a lot from you guys helping me out with all the technology stuff. Um, let's see. So Wolfie says, do you believe God? Um, yeah, I believe there's a good and an evil out there, you know. Let's see. Drew says YouTube Studio, you can do a lot in there. Check it out. I'll check that out because I do have the Studio app on my phone, so I could definitely check that out. Josh says to Wolf Guy, please keep it arm wrestling. Yeah, arm wrestling is definitely good stuff. Um, it's all right. Definitely. Uh, we definitely. There's been a lot of questions I haven't read. So it's not a super. That's not a. Nah, it's tricky. There's definitely been some questions that I have not read because just been super crazy, you know. Let's see. Um, Josh says, to Wolf Guy, all good, not mad, just trying to keep the topic in line. Yeah, definitely, you know. I appreciate that, you know, because I got a little bit of, I get distracted pretty easy. So I need all the help I can get to keep this arm wrestling related. Um, arm wrestling's pretty fun, you know. I have fun with it. I have fun at practice. You know, it's a good sport. It's a unique sport. When you first start, it's a very, very, I mean, it's always painful and uncomfortable, but when you first start, it's like it's pretty interesting, those newbie pains, you know. Josh says, yep, Nick needs all the help he can get. I appreciate that. That's a good team. Josh says, LOL. That means we're a good team. We're a good team. Everyone comes together, brings out the best in each other. But it's good. It's definitely good. Wolfie says, LOL, Nick needs too much help, LOL. That could be the case. That definitely could be the case. But either way, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the help. Let's see. Josh says, Nick is playing half the time. Half the time. Could be true. That could be true. That could definitely be true. The other half, definitely appreciate that. Wolfie says, nah, crazy. Drew says, but Nick is twice of most men. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate that. I needed that today. You know, one of those nice compliments. You know, it was nice of you. Everyone needs a nice little compliment once in a while to get them through the day. Josh says to Drew, this is true. Very true. Hopefully that's not a fat joke. And, you know, it went right over my head because, you know, people like to, you know, throw the fat jokes in there. Some of them are funny. Some of them are real funny. But, like, Brian's still in the chat yesterday, we had practice and it was a real funny one. Brian goes, you people are supposed to be slow. What's going on? I go, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean, you people? He meant super heavyweights, you know? But I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. What do you mean, you people? You know, the super heavyweights, depending on where you're from, different names. Some call them super heavyweights. Some call them the big guys, and some even call them the fatties. But either way, they're in a weight class where there's not a number. They just go right into letters, you know? But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little topic. But let's see. Let me check the time. It's almost 11:11. Let's see. I'm probably gonna hop off pretty soon. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we hop off? Let me know. Any questions? Gym questions, arm wrestling questions, exercise questions. Drew says Tropic Thunder is a classic. Yeah, it was a good movie. Um, yeah, it was a good movie back when that was probably one of the last uh, real comedy movies ever made before Hollywood made all those requirements for, I don't know, their agenda, whatever. But there's no such thing as pure comedy anymore. Everything, all the movies are like romantic comedies or action comedies. There's no such thing as a pure comedy anymore. I feel like everything's too PC to do real comedy. Um, let's see. Wolfie says it is. I have seen clips. I mean, if you're looking for a good movie, a funny movie, it definitely is. That definitely is a good movie. And then Drew says, Wolfie, you are too young to watch that movie. He might be. Is it rated R? Um, Josh says, what's after the live, Nick? So after this live, I'm gonna set the camera up. I probably gotta charge the phone up for a little bit first. I'm gonna do it's going to be a back workout, drag, arm wrestling drag, mostly back pressure. It's not going to be super intense. It's going to be a medium. It's going to be a medium medium intensity, maybe recovery, but it's more than likely going to be a medium. So we'll be like rep ranges between, probably between 15 and 20 will be our rep range on the first couple exercises. Then we might go more reps with the other stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to hang out, get a lifting with me during my lift, let me know. So it could be cool, could be fun, and you'll get stronger. Wolfie says, nah, I have to watch it. And it chapter 2. All right. Drew says, take care, Nick. Let me know when you need a decent phone for not a lot of money. The one I have is really good for a phone. A couple years old, top tier phone for that time, and still better than most now. Maybe about 150. Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's nice of you. Yeah, definitely gotta get something. But let's see. Wolfie says, have a good day. Bye. I appreciate that. Take care, man. I'll probably, for the music, I'll probably play that same music I played yesterday because YouTube didn't copyright it, which is good. YouTube has been weird. Like, music that says copyright free, YouTube has still been flagging it. But the one, it's like metal, piano, violin. Kind of reminds me of like video game music. There's no lyrics, just just instrumental, but it's pretty good. It's nice, Wolfie says, copyright free my ass. Definitely true. Definitely true. You know, even royalty free. I tried that. You know, some say royalty free, copyright free, and next thing I know, I gotta go the next day. I gotta go and erase all the songs from. Well, luckily, YouTube will they give you an option in the studio, you know, to do it. But let's see. Josh says, Nick, that's all AI. When it does that, refute it, and they will fix it. I have to for like the first 3 weeks. I start posting. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that then. Maybe I'll try that today. Um, yeah, that AI stuff is weird, you know. Um, let's see. Wolfie says, my dad makes music. Maybe he can make a nice copyright free playlist, you know, that we could play during our live workouts. You know, something like metal, some rock, you know, something like that. Let's see. Wolfie says he makes emo stuff though. That's all right. Emo. There could be emo metal and emo rock. You know, I'm sure there's a couple emo songs that you might catch me listen to once in a while. Not not all of them, but definitely some of them. I grew up in that emo period. You know, when all the chicks were dressing up that emo stuff. And let's see. Josh says that AI has a problem flagging its own music. Okay, that could be it. Those dang computers, man. They're supposed to be making things easier, but they just keep on stepping on our toes. Drew says there's a lot of good free music from the YouTube library. They approve already. Is that like the YouTube library? Is that like a page, or is that the YouTube Music app thing? Wolf Guy says he cusses a lot in it. That's all right. It happens sometimes with songs, you know. I'm sure it can't be any worse than some of the music they're putting out today with some of those lady rappers, and I guess if you can call it rap. But yeah, I'm sure it can't be worse than what's coming out today. Josh says just to dispute all the copyright claims, and it will eventually leave you alone. Yeah, maybe I'll definitely do that next time. I'll definitely do that next time. Because if that works, it'll probably be way faster than having to go through, 15 songs, and do them one by one. So let's see. Drew says, like when you want to post a vid on YouTube, you can add background music and can choose from the YouTube music library, and there's tons in there. Okay, you mean like for shorts and stuff, like doing the shorts, YouTube shorts? Because I think that pops up when I do the YouTube shorts. So Wolfie says it is a lot is about his past and drugs. That's all right. At least it's in the past. Maybe those songs can help someone else dealing with similar issues. Um, Josh says, and like Drew said, on a desktop, so many more features. You can set up an entire playlist for your streams. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. I gotta get a desktop or something like that. Maybe a laptop or something. Let's see. Drew says for any viz. Oh, okay. Wolfie says that is sick. All right. Let's see. Drew says, and find one guy who knows more about working on cars to look at it. It might be an easy fix. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping it's an easy fix. I really I hate bringing my car to the mechanic. I hate people that I don't know tinkering around with my stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to find. I used to have a buddy that would help me all the time, a really good mechanic, but he is in Massachusetts right now. Well, that's where he lives now. But yeah, I'm definitely gotta get the old Black Pearl running again. You know, because it's a good car. You know, it definitely doesn't owe me anything. You know, it's not running right now. It definitely doesn't owe me anything because I've got a lot out of it. You know. Um, Drew says, let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna miss some chats. So let's see. Wolfie says, do you know what VR chat is? I don't think so. I'm gonna guess virtual reality chat, maybe, but I'm not sure what that is. Drew says, and a lot cheaper than renting a car every day. Yeah, definitely true. Definitely true. Let's whoop. Comment. The chats are moving. Drew says, you know, people. If I was there, I would look at it. I work on all my stuff, cars, motorcycles, etc. Yeah, man. If you can make it down, that'd be great. We can get some good training. We can fix the car, maybe. There's still time if you want to make it over to the recovery lift. Let's see. Josh says all the music I stream on my lives are from the copyright-free library on YouTube. Most of my videos too. Okay, cool. That's cool. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can download any more apps on this tablet, but I'm gonna see if I can download the studio on this, and maybe I'll mess around with the music on see if I can mess around with the tablet. So super need name. Let's see. It says something about not arm wrestling related, so I appreciate that. That is funny. So Drew says you could tell your car, that'll do, pig, that'll do. I say that all the time. That's one of my favorite quotes from a movie, is that Babe quote at the end of the movie when he goes, that'll do, pig. I say it all the time. Sometimes it's in a really good situation, and sometimes people don't understand what you're saying, and they think you're just calling them a pig. But yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do. Speaking of pig, the Jeep was named after a pig, Wilbert. My Jeep's name is Wilbert. And I think wasn't there a movie, not that one, but it was a different pig where the pig was named Wilbert or something. But the Jeep's name is Wilbert. You know, Wilbert the Jeep. What's up, Mike? What's up, man? Hopefully we see you at Dungeon. Let's see. I'm not sure what that word means, but Wolfie says LOL, and then I was worried in case that word means something. People will take me saying it and edit it, and it'll be all over the internet. But I'm not sure what that word means. Drew says I'm still waiting to put together my teleporter. Hey man, you gotta hurry up and get that stuff going. You know, you could change a lot of stuff once you get that teleporter. Drew says you have no other tablet / laptop. Nope. Right now my main thing is my phone. I use my phone for pretty much everything. I used to use this tablet for all the YouTube stuff, but what is it? You know, YouTube, they updated their software, so this tablet does not have the software for YouTube anymore. I mean, I could pull up YouTube on a different internet browser, but I can't log in or post anything. I can't even see comments on it. I can only, I could use it for the music and stuff. She says, no, I'm not psychic. Must have missed something. But Drew says Charlotte's Web. So does Wolfie says Charlotte's Web. Mike says, yeah, I'll be there. Man, because, Peasley with his guilt tripping and how he is, LOL. Unfortunately, I know how Peasley is. I don't really like talking about him anymore because it always leads to people being sad, or worst case scenario, people spend too much time with Peasley and they become afraid to come back. It's like, let's say this, he's a little touchy. He's been known to be a little feely touchy. So if you see a guy named Peasley that arm wrestlers, all I'm going to say is watch your back. Definitely watch your back. Mike says he's laughing. He gets the joke. But it's not a joke. Seriously, watch your back. But we're all having fun here. We're all having fun. So let's see. Well, that's a rough one. That's a rough one, Wolfie. But I guess better now than 20 years down the road. I don't know if that helps. But either way, it's probably better that those people are not in your life anymore, if that makes sense. But sorry that happened, man. Josh says arm wrestling, y'all, please. Yeah, arm wrestling is fun, arm wrestling is fun. Let's see. So there's a link from Drew, says Motorola Moto Edge Plus for under 110, good condition. It's what I have. It's awesome. All right, man, I'll check that out. 258 gigabytes. That's a good amount. I think my phone has 32, maybe. Then Drew says, but the one has even more storage than mine. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Wolfie says, me too. All right, all right. So let's see. Drew says, and get a money symbol 8 phone case for it. Mine is red. Is that the brand? Money symbol 8. That's a type of phone case or something. Oh, that makes more sense. That was one of those things. For a second, I was so used to reading typos that there was no typo. I overread it. $8 phone screen. That would definitely do it. Yeah, something. You know. But all right, guys, I'm gonna hop off in 60 seconds. Definitely, I said that before, but I'm definitely gonna hop off in like a minute. So if there's any final questions, let me know. Drew says phone case help protect the phone. It definitely does. It definitely does. I haven't used one in quite a while. I've been lucky with it up until recently. Wolfie says bye. Have a good day. I appreciate that. Have a good day. Drew says save that link. Josh, text it to him, etc. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But all right, guys, I think that's it for me. For now, I'm gonna go in the gym, set up the camera for the lift live, and then we're gonna get lifting, and then we'll take it from there. But all right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit if you decide to watch again. If not, oh, Wolfie says real quick, he says, when is the next live? It's going to be in about it's going to be under 20 minutes. I'm gonna go inside. I'll probably walk the dog real quick, and then lift. So probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll be live again for the workout. Mercer says, how much can you bench? My best bench in competition is 600 pounds in a powerlifting competition. Drew says 2,000 pounds. There's only one way to find out. And I can't really say your name. Oh, Mertian. If you want to check out, I won't be benching, but I'll be doing a arm wrestle and lift. Come back in like 20 minutes. I'll be live again for a recovery lift. But hey, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.